Welcome back to Week 6 of the North American LCS. We're gearing up for Evil Geniuses versus Cloud9, and a big part of EG's hopes rests on their mid laner.
Yeah, and when Pobelter joined up with Evil Geniuses, he had to adjust to life in the LCS, playing with a new team, and all the while finishing high school. Now the recent graduate seems headed for bigger and better things.
When we were coming to North America initially, we didn't know all too much about the North American scene, but we had heard about Pobelter already, and he was definitely our first go-to.
Senior year, I had 5 classes, and I had 3 AP classes. I'd wake up at 7, I'd go to school, get back at 3, and then from 3 to 10, I'd scrim. Basically, I'd figure out how to do homework and studying like during school hours, like in between break periods or something, or just cut back on a little sleep.
It was hard at first. If you want to perform at the highest level, you need to be thinking about League more than just in your scrim time. We had that as a bit of a problem with Pobelter. He had to devote time to both League and school, and there was very little left for let alone himself or just thinking about the game outside of the scrims.
Pob's definitely an aggressive player, always looking for that one kill, but he has good decision making while doing it.
Whenever we do well, Pobelter is always a big part of that. Every game that we win, there's always a "is that him?" moment where we go like, "Did you just do that, Pob?" And then he's like, "Yeah."
The first game against Dignitas, he played Orianna and his shockwaves were like really on point.
Pobelter with a black shield on. There is death raining down onto everybody right now. Oh, the ball delivery system! If they can get the basics. That's huge! Sion, Spartan, and Kiwi Kid are getting shredded by Command Shockwave.
Having him in the house is definitely fun. There's always action with him in the house, especially when he starts duo queuing with Helios.
Sometimes together we play game, crazy, sometimes crazy, and I sometimes talk. "Oh, Eugene, don't do that, please, don't die." But sometimes he very nice carry.
It's a lot easier now that I don't have to worry about school or just be really tired from not having slept so much.
He can actually sleep in, actually have a nice schedule where he wakes up at a normal hour, warms up, then goes into scrims, and then has time to be busy with the game outside of just playing the scrims.
He's putting a lot more time playing solo queue and duo queue with Helios, and his individual play definitely went up.
My personal goal for this split is for people to start recognizing me as one of the top mid players in North America. You know, not just top 8, but like top 3 or maybe even the best. I think that I've already improved a ton since last split, and if I keep it up, then I think it's a possible goal.
I think he's got a real good chance as well with now school being to the wayside, having graduated that nicely. He has an easier job to do this, more time to focus on League of Legends. Not that it's going to be any easier.
Yeah, now they just have to get Altec through.
Yeah, that's right. School. All right, we're pulling back the curtain on our first match, Cloud9 versus Evil Geniuses. And Cloud9 continues to stumble right now, most recently losing to Complexity.
Yeah, this split, Cloud9 have really only been playing to the level of their opponents, as many people have said. They're capable of competing with the toughest in the league, but then they also lose games to the lower teams in the standings. Against the top 4 teams, they are 5-3, but are 2-3 against the bottom 3 teams. And what's even more surprising, they're winless against both Complexity and Evil Geniuses right now. Cloud9 are used to being in first, and they, rightfully so, take these losses very seriously.
Absolutely. And while Cloud9 has hit stormy weather so far, the forecast has been looking bright for Evil Geniuses. Yesterday, they pulled themselves back into a tie for 6th place with an important win over Curse.
And once again, Altec is showing what a lethal force he can be, scoring a last-minute pentakill in his first Jinx game in the LCS. But I also want to give a nod to Innox for that game, who had a great game on KL, showing really strong timings with both his teleport and his interventions. Right now, Evil Geniuses are on a quest to break past the 6th place team, and Cloud9 are standing in their way.
That they are. We'll see if they can get the job done. Let's check out the starting lineups and get into the game. On the blue side, today it will be Cloud9. In the top lane is Balls, Meteos in the jungle, High in the mid lane, Sneaky on AD carry, and LemonNation on support.
And on the red side, it's evil geniuses. Up top is Innox in the jungle, Helios, mid Pobelter, Altec AD carry, and Krepo supporting.
And it's crazy to think with Cloud9's wins and with now so many losses, for this loss to happen, they would have accumulated the same amount in the first year of their splits.
Yeah, if they lose today, just double their all-time losses. They've only got a 54% win rate as far as this split is concerned.
That's different from 25-3, Kobe.
A little bit lower for them.
But still, coming in with a lot of strength. An innovative bot lane, the one we used to see the Ashe and Zyra in, seeing a little bit of Ashe coming out with 4.10, but not really taking hold anywhere. Maybe they're ones to innovate, but we also look at Altec and Pobelter and Krepo. Guys playmaking so much lately. We'll see if they can get that job done. Early game is when Cloud9 can be hit the most.
Yeah, the bottom lanes for these two teams are pretty interesting because the beginning of the split was all about Sneaky and LemonNation, and they were doing so much, stepping up, doing over 50% of the damage dealt to champions for Cloud9. But as the split has gone on, Altec and Krepo have pretty much stolen the show here, really outperforming what everyone's expectations were for them. Everybody knew that coming into this, Altec was a boy prodigy, basically, similar along the lines of Pobelter. But now he's actually getting results, and that's much different than just performing in Challenger tier and solo queue.
I really would have thought we'd seen more of a support band coming out on a Morgana or something, but not so. Elise and Lee Sin in the jungle are the last two. Nunu's left up. It was banned against EG yesterday, so Helios may have that option if that's the composition you even have in mind. And Evelyn coming in for Meteos right away. He also tried to go for that yesterday.
Yeah, let's see how he does on a jungler not Lee Sin. Still, the stat remains. They're only able to win when he has got that champion.
Yep.
So basically that just shows you why Eugene bans were so quick.
Yeah.
Because they are purple side and because they're playing against Cloud9, very easy for them to ban out those top priority champions.
Absolutely. Both Helios and Meteos played Evelyn yesterday, so this is nice. They're kind of just dwindling down Helios's pool, seeing what they can get him to go do.
Yeah, it also pushes him down into the quote-unquote lower tier of the junglers now. We'll see what he does pick out. As you mentioned already, the Nunu is an option for them, but Cloud9 could be trying to force them in that direction. Cloud9 expect every team to ban Lee Sin against them. So banning Elise themselves, they were trying to push Helios down to that lower tier. We'll see how Helios can actually react to that, though, because Evil Geniuses have got two very strong AP solo laners so far, locking in that top lane Gragas and the wave clear of Ziggs for mid.
Well, we'll see if Renekton and Lucian will be able to break the curse without Lee.
Yeah, Lucian is still such a high priority pick for all these AD carries, even with all the itemization changes. A lot of people thought he was going to drop off with the Bloodthirster changes, but it is not so. It's just different build paths have opened up to him, both the Blade of the Ruin King and Ghostblade, as well as an Infinity Edge start if you follow it up with a Static Shiv. Just because there's so much synergy between Static Shiv, Infinity Edge, and Lucian, the double shot from Lucian charges up your Static Shiv much faster. The Lightning Bolt will crit much harder from your Infinity Edge. Really, though, that changes Lucian, and he would have to work around a weaker early game as he builds that up.
Well, he should be all right versus Twitch in the early game. If they are to match, we did get a few standards and a few 2v-nuns yesterday. Morgana and Twitch picked up, however. Altec, seemingly, he can just kind of throw anything in there, make it work. We'll see against the Twitch.
This is probably going to be two AD carries going with the Blade of the Ruin King Ghostblade build path here, and we will see a lot of assassination potential and a lot of good micromanagement in the duels, because this close combat for both of these AD carries will be over very quickly. Morgana plus Twitch, if you land the binding, Twitch is a very offensive AD carry for that bottom lane. Same thing goes for Nami, though. If those bubbles land, then Lucian can easily capitalize on it. So we'll have to see if this Twitch lane actually decides to swap out.
It's been a while for high on Orianna, and the Nunu will get locked in on the other side. I am really interested in that pick for high, though. Both sides, great teams coming out of Champions Select for the first game of the day.
Yeah, Orianna all around really safe pick. Very easy for many mid-lane players just to revert to that in dangerous situations. Also, she can answer somewhat the Ziggs wave clear. Both of those guys were hurt by the Athene's changes, but not too bad. We'll see, though, because the top lane is very interesting. This is, again, the top lane Gragas. This pick is actually very good against champions like Renekton, these bruisers, because he does have that health, the percentage health damage, and because the Doran's Blade nerf actually hurt Renekton a lot.
Right.
He gets way less sustain. Not only does the lifesteal on Doran's Blade return a lot less life, but also Renekton has that multiple hits on his W. So he used to get 15 life back from a Doran's Blade with an empowered W, and now he's got, since lifesteal comes back even after mitigation, it's maybe it's like 6.
Poppycock.
Garbage.
Nothing there. These champs are locked in, so let's head over to LOLesports.com and see who you are predicting to win. Right now, you're giving it to Cloud9 with 76%. We'll see if they can make that true to their fans, but you can always change it.
Yeah, if you do start to second guess yourself, then you can change it by tweeting the hashtag C9win or EGWin to @LOLesports.
So we'll see how that factors in. The bully in the top lane getting a little bullying himself. So we'll see for Renekton. We still saw some of the Dorans build even into 2 Dorans for Renektons in the top lane, obviously because you're going to need more health. But it was like, wait, I actually just need health now.
Yeah, a lot of people also, they're overlooking that it was also hit, the health was reduced and the damage was reduced. So it was just hit all across the board here.
We'll see how much these players hit each other up as we jump in here. We're on week 6, day 2, game 1. It's going to be Cloud9 versus EG. We're on to the Rift. We're into the game. Let's get some action going as we start this one off. We even got Duck's hat in the crowd.
One thing that will be in favor of the Cloud9 lanes, though, is that their jungler, Evelynn, just basically puts a lot of pressure on the map because she has that invisibility. So every lane has to play a little bit safer until they see her, either through deep wards from Nunu inside the jungle camps or from Meteos actually showing up with a gank. See if Helios can actually get those wards down early enough to keep track of Meteos, because we've seen so many times when Cloud9 have strong early lanes, Meteos gets off to a good start, and there's no time for their opponents to get those deep wards down inside the jungle, and Cloud9 snowball very quickly.
That's something we talk about a lot is Meteos, even when they're in the buddy system, getting the CS in the jungle to be strong and make those ganks very effective. Change a bit in the percentage. We see LemonNation on Nami this game. He's usually on his Thresh. He will rush that Ruby Sightstone. He's got the spell piece this time, so he's looking for a little gold generation.
Yeah, Nami is really, really popular now. Not only because of the crowd control that she brings, but sustained supports are extremely important. Again, due to that Doran's Blade change, the lane down bottom that has healing support often will come out way ahead in the laning phase.
We even saw Sona coming in from
that actually,
yesterday.
Just that right there is enough to key Evil Geniuses to go for a swap here. They don't want a chance Altec getting hit by a bubble and Krepo not being able to react in time with a Black Shield. This Twitch and Morgana lane has a lot of potential, but it's fairly flimsy. If they make one mistake versus a Lucian Nami, it would be really, really difficult for them to come back. There's just too much to stay in there. Now, let's see how well Helios can control the jungle buffs. There is, as well, that increased money for Dragon, and Nunu definitely shines above a lot of other junglers at taking the early Dragons.
Keep an eye on that CS as well. We just talked about a little bit. Ward's going down. You'll start a little farming in laning phase. Yeah,
the double farming here, as you expected. Both Gragas and Renekton are fairly strong at the early farming here. This preemptive ward by Evil Geniuses for that dragon as well. So if Cloud9 decide to try and take that one because they have AD carry and support down bottom, Helios and Innox will decide to show up there, maybe get a roam from Krepo as well. It's very dangerous to stop those without vision, as we've seen many teams dying in their attempts to stop those early dragons. See how Evil Genius can actually pull it off, because they were one of the first teams to do it.
Yeah, yesterday in their 2v none, EG had actually Krepo roaming already, and he then went into the top laner's lane with Innox and was hanging out with him. So we'll see how they decide to trade it up today.
Yeah, you can really time out the early moves now from a lot of these teams, just based on where they're lane swapping. 3 minutes coming up here, so they probably want to start heading down towards the dragon area. When their ward fizzles out down there, about to run out, then they'll probably either want to go replace it or at least have people in the vicinity on the bottom side of the map to stop that early dragon, because we've seen so many teams talk about how you can't let dragon control slip away from you nowadays. That will snowball the early game so hard with the increased gold that teams are really, really putting a high priority on that objective.
Slow moving, just per camp to camp. It does seem like Meteos is getting more of that farm, so he can be bigger for himself. Doesn't look like they're going to get much out of the bottom lane.
They've got everybody here for the dragon, and the ward just now fizzles out. Really, really strong timing from Cloud9 here. The support from EG just backs to the base, so it looks like this will be a dragon for Cloud9. How well can they juggle the dragon aggro? Right now they're at a B-, I'd say, taking a lot of hits.
It's getting better.
Innox comes to check.
They're doing some extracurricular work here. Oh, nope, that's a mark. Damage, trying to put in a little bit of harass. Sneaky called up.
See, it's a game of seconds here. Cloud9, they move in right when the ward disappears. So Evil Geniuses didn't feel that pressure to run down as quickly. And don't get that early dragon. Good early lead for Cloud9. Let's see what they do with it, because in the past, when Cloud9 were in top form, it was all about the early leads and that vision control.
We'll see if Krepo can get a nice ward out. Actually, it's going to be a close ward since they already have one at Dragon. I'm sure Lemon remembers yesterday when he went to ward was actually a point in time when they started to lose control of the bottom lane, so he's been more careful in his play today as well.
Something else to note, now that we are looking at Innox down here, because Evil Geniuses are running with a Nunu in the jungle, they didn't have to give as many last hits over to Nunu, because Nunu can do just fine on a less lower income, and they were able to give a bit more money to Innox than Cloud9 gave over to Balls. So we'll see if this discrepancy between the junglers when they're able to complete their items actually manifests itself in any sort of power struggle between Meteos and Helios.
This makes an interesting lane now for Altec.
Ooh, Altec has a hard time because Twitch's invisibility takes a long time now. Pink ward goes down, but he's got the move speed. Doesn't matter if you can see him if you can't catch him.
Helios just on the backside. Getting out. Meteos' flash. They should be all right here. Ball's just taking an extra bit of damage, but they make sure that they will be in the back pocket of Altec, so he gets an easy laning phase into that fight phase again, where he racks up the kills. 46 to 47, 80 carries are close, mids are completely even. Really just a disparity in the jungle as Krepo might be taking a bit too much, can't get the passive shots off the piercing light. He's forced out of lane.
Yeah, that's what happens when you shake up these duo lanes. Technically, Evil Geniuses have two people down here, but the range is definitely going in advantage of Cloud9, as well as the sustain. A lot of harass down to Krepo, force him back before he can actually complete either his Sightstone or upgrade his gold generation. So pretty good job there by Cloud9, forcing him to back at an inopportune moment, whereas Innox tries to rely on his passive to regain health.
Saw a great composition yesterday coming out of Altec and Krepo as Balls gets hit up here. We saw as they banned out Jinx for Altec, those zaps into the dark bindings were awesome. Forced a flash, Mega Inferno just on the outside to heat things up, and he stays alive. First blood still to be had here.
So not only do we commend Helios for that gank where they get the flash out of Balls and they take down one of the people that Cloud9 rely on most to carry their games, but also what he did just before that. Look at these two wards in the blue side jungle that Evil Geniuses have placed. Right before he moved up top, he's got full control of this blue side jungle from Cloud9. Really good vision inside the camp, so if Meteos goes up there at all, he will be seen. And even if he tries to take his own Wraith camp, EG are on top of this vision game very early versus this Evelyn, and it's exactly what we said they needed to do. Very strong opening from EG, even though they gave up that early dragon.
Cleaning up CS in mid. Still a slight gold lead, but nothing really to be had there, Kobe. Everybody's still just leveling in lane, getting those priority items up. Sneaky does go for a BF first to start it off. We got Altec going for the Blade of the Rune King.
All right, so with all these wards for Cloud9, Meteos, he hates wards inside his own jungle.
Especially when you're up.
Buys a pink ward himself to clear it out. Let's see if Helios on the other side will actually sweep out the Cloud9 wards, because Cloud9 have their own deep wards inside EG's blue side. Helios does not decide to use his sweeper though, so they will have Cloud9 will have the timer on that third blue when it does pop back up.
Nothing contested this time, but like you said, up into the next, a little bit of damage traded back and forth. Not having range in this lane is kind of affecting the fact of EG's trades, but they should be okay. LemonNation just trying to zone, and it's not too bad overall between those top laners, 45 to 42.
Yeah, and speaking of top lane, both junglers kind of hovering around that area. Even though Meteos cleared out the wards, EG know this was the area of the map he was last sighted in, and you can extrapolate how long will it take Meteos to get to the other side of the map. So he's probably still up on this top side, unless he's taking a long journey down there. And so he doesn't necessarily go to the lane, but he hovers around this top side of the map, Helios, waiting just in case there's a counter gank opportunity for him here. Sneaks right into that bush. Perfect timing by Helios.
You don't say. Counter gank, walks out, there's nothing else to stun him up, gets a full absolute zero down, will be able to lock down the Ice Blast. One more, ball should be going down in this one as well. The Dominus already ticking. Will it be there for the shot? A little early from Pobelter. He didn't expect so much slow to be coming from his own team.
Yeah, the slow with red buff plus Twitch plus Nunu is ridiculous. And man, was that a really, really good counter gank from Helios. Gets in there. Perfect time. He wastes no time at all. Altec with the flash over the Nunu ult, and there's no way for Cloud9 to get out of this because he uses the W to get it ready. Bot lane.
Sneaky going hard. Kills up in the top lane as we saw, and it looks like a kill down in the bottom lane.
Uh-oh, Sneaky's not out safe quite yet,
no!
though.
Oh, the heal brings everything back.
One more bounce.
We just dodged one, gets out of this nicely. LemonNation able to give over a little bit of passive movement speed there.
There it is again. Sneaky steps up big. They get the double kill down bottom. Cloud9 are answering, and they are ahead in gold after this as well. Even after that disaster up top. Both AD carries. Very, very strong at this moment. So Altec gets himself some kills. Sneaky does the same. We'll see how quickly these guys advance. Ooh! Looks like we will have the early Infinity Edge from Lucian too.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this because it in itself is not a bad build. We'll talk about that after the Dragon though. EG do not want to give up this one.
Well, I'm also...
Bum rush it.
They're going to get Dragon, but like you said, we'll talk a little bit about Lucian because Sneaky, we don't usually see him go that aggressive. Under the turret, diving through a Morgana as well. A little bit of change in play style there for himself.
He's definitely a guy that has matured over the split. He's definitely stepped up this split for Cloud9.
Yeah.
Ever since he got that #1 spot in Challenger, he's had a renewed confidence, and it really shows in his play. Strong opening him from him there. Now, talking about this early Infinity Edge from Lucian, this in itself I don't have a problem with. You just have to work around this build path that you're going. Right now, he's just got a bunch of flat AD. Sounds great for Lucian. It's very similar to the old Bloodthirster style. Now, going early Infinity Edge is great as long as you follow it up with a lot of crit. Static Shiv, as we were talking about in the pregame, is amazing on Lucian when you go early Infinity Edge because it synergizes not only with the Infinity Edge for the crit damage for your Lightning Bolt, but also for the double shot of Lucian and Lucian's move speed. He already has a lot of inherent move speed, so he charges up that Static Shiv very quickly. We'll see how well he can use that power spike, though. Once he gets his Infinity Edge on top of the Static Shiv is really where he's going to shine.
Slow movements here. Meteos trying to get something out of it. EG feels it. Everybody's kind of backing off before they're getting ready to ward up for the next Dragon.
Yeah. That being said, if Sneaky goes Trinity Force after his Infinity Edge, I will be heartbroken because it's a really big missed opportunity. Over in Europe, I think Creaton did that. All right, Altec's coming in for the assassination. Sneaky stands ground.
Whoa, that's what the BF Sword pickaxe damage looks like from a Lucian early game. The culling comes in. Oh, it doesn't. The piercing light all the way through Krepo, and he does finalize the kill. Pobelter trying again to get some love out of this one, but he can't do it. The Mega Inferno. Meteos on the backside pushing out Helios.
And this time, Meteos gets the first step on Helios, barely getting there a few seconds beforehand. 2 kills for Cloud9. Man, the end of that piercing light, just so good from Sneaky.
Just a tip.
Very catches Altec.
That's it. He's going down. Oh no! Good flash. No Ardent Blades to be had. Oh, he hits the ultimate ultimate explosive cast could be the casket for both of these guys. Sneaky's doing what he can to get the heals out of the Doran's Blade. Wait a minute! He doesn't have anything. He's full mana, full health, and he's already used the gap closer. Sneaky's doing what he can to dance around, but the blue suede shoes only work so long.
Balls also uses the teleport there only to cancel it. Gonna have a long, well, it's gonna be a shorter cooldown, but he would have rather not use it at all. Okay, so we start off with the ambush. LemonNation in the bush. The reason Altec had this confidence, LemonNation sitting in that bush for a very long time. Altec did not expect that. He thought he had the advantage in this situation. And even though they get that first kill, the end of that piercing light, great. Meteos flashing in for the second kill.
Really great play. The Infinity Edge already finished. Around 14 minutes into the game just before that, so that'll be a very nice pickup for him. Definitely out damages the Blade of the Rune King, but a well-positioned Twitch can still turn a fight around. Yep. Rod of Ages in the top lane, finished up now for Innox. A little back and forth for him in the bottom. His teleport is down though. And we've just seen Balls doing what he can to stay up there. 20 CS up, as we would figure. We haven't really seen him in the fights just yet.
Yeah, let's see. We haven't had another item picked up from Sneaky to tell his build path.
No.
But a lot of...
And all that gold.
A lot of Lucian's tunnel on Trinity Force, but there's really no synergy between Trinity Force and Lucian. It's only 10% crit. There's twice as much crit on Static Shiv than there is on Trinity Force.
It's fun to go fast with Phage.
Yeah, and the passive doesn't synergize either, so we'll see. All right, I'm focusing way too hard on that, but it's really interesting AD carry builds in this patch. Really what we want to look up is the top lane here. Because Balls has been farming for a while, hasn't purchased recently, doesn't have any magic resistance to go up against Innox. And Innox completing that Rod of Ages, even though he's really far down in CS right now, has a pretty good chance to hold off against Balls, since Balls hasn't purchased any sort of defenses against that Gragas.
Helios is going to be top lane for a little bit here, maybe relieving some pressure. Him down about 30 CS, but he's still doing well with the assists he's received in lane. Got that Sight Stone, really being utility for the team. Help snowball the lanes if possible. Sneaky still farming up. 123 to just 120s for both of the AD carries. Something to watch as we get into this game. Altec finally getting out of the laning phase. We're going to see if he starts racking up as many kills as you.
Last time he went for one of these assassination attempts, it backfired. And this time, Cloud9 had almost set up the perfect counter once again. Lemon, though, now he might get caught. Altec decides to run away. That's what happened last time. And Lemon gets the pink ward.
Mind games.
Pink ward number 2 gonna go down. Cloud9 are on a pink ward killing spree.
And look at these two guys are in the game too. We just saw Pobelter. High is also somewhere, but they've been pretty much not even in the game yet. Just farming their faces off in mid.
Huge bonus here of having Nunu. You can have very, very quick rotations killing towers. Because you can speed up Ziggs, and Ziggs has that great passive for taking down towers as well. They're able to take out mid with no reaction from Cloud9. It did cost them a bunch of minions top lane though, and Balls has got that wave all the way to the turret. Cannon minion, that's what's important. Innox does get it.
Oh, might see the power of High, and Pobelter now throws down the shockwave to shut down Absolute Zero. Gets a good dissonance on the ball movement. Forced the flash out of Pobelter. A clear win so far. Ooh. Oh, he gets the back calling, or the back passive shot. That was a crit, I should say. Didn't even need to use the calling there. Just canceled it out early. You see it has been used, but they're going to be able to get this one. Cloud9 takes control of the map and pretty much the game now.
Strong play on the bottom half of the map here for Cloud9. Reclaiming Dragon control. This is a really good game, and you can tell by the way the Dragons have gone. One to Cloud9, then another one to EG, and now back. Cloud9 strikes again, taking the third. Closely contested between both these teams, even though...
I thought a Dragon fight would have been EG's with all the area of effect they have, but
it's the opportunity that they take. Yes, they have the same amount of people down here, but Sneaky does such a good job of kiting 2 members that the other top side of the Dragon River for Cloud9 definitely goes in their favor, and they're able to capitalize, taking out the jungler, which ensures the pickup.
He bought a second item, Kobe. He's got a Zeal now.
Yeah, that could still go either way. So still could be heartbreaking. But I'm 95% sure it'll be a static Shiv. just because it works so
that
well.
That 5% is going to haunt you forever. Seeing Pobelter doing quite well in mid, but kind of shut down in that last fight. Forced out of the flash. High going a bit more aggressive in his playstyle, was really able to take control. See now EG wants a little bit of the map back. They know this area is free since Dragon has gone down, so they're taking what time they can to clear out what they know is safe. Maybe get a kill out of this in the bottom lane.
Yeah, they're
Meteos already hovering.
They're coming down to try and defend this, though. Wow, never mind. Turret's already dead. They're just coming down to stop the push. Innox up top. Let's see what he can do. He's working well with that 40-odd CS discrepancy right now. Trying to hold his own. Got some armor in there as well. He will be building the bruiser-oriented Gragas. Definitely the optimal choice right there for him, I think. Now, that Glacial Shroud could either go into the Iceborne Gauntlet or the Frozen Heart. Probably will go with the Iceborne this time around because attack speed, not that big of a deal for Cloud9. You know, maybe if they had like the Jax or Kale or more attack speed oriented AD carry, then he might go that route.
Both teams taking their time. Coming up on 20 minutes, and things are slow going. 6-4, the kills kind of came in quick when they came in, but things since have slowed down. 2K sitting in the hands of Pobelter. He's waiting to throw down some cash and looking to get on the scoreboard as well. He's kind of the only one who's been sitting lonely in the mid lane. Not easy being Ziggs.
Yeah, let's see how they can manipulate this, because bottom tower being down for Cloud9. Yes, it means that they can try and exert more control with this strong Lucian that they have, who's almost able to complete his static shift. But it's dangerous for them to go too deep in this side. As you can see, pink wards from EG, they're going to try and limit that vision from Cloud9 that they're trying to gain control of this bottom side jungle. And because of that, Meteos just sort of hangs around.
Altec getting in range just in time. What are EG's options, really, if they were to stop pretty much any of Cloud9's push at the moment?
Well, they still have that Ziggs ulti. That's always great to rely on. So they could chuck one of those over down to the bottom lane if they really get desperate. But right now, he's got his hands full with High in the mid lane. High's doing a good job of pressuring to make sure that Pobelter has his hands full. He does have blue buff, so even the cooldown will be lower on his ulti if he decides to try and help clear bottom.
Kind of getting standard lanes back, but they've been pushed out of really what are the original lanes. Pobelter and High getting wraiths in mid, top lane on an island, but Innox is really taking this to balls.
He is definitely holding his own, even with coming into the lane there with that CS discrepancy. Balls has finally picked up some magic resistor, Negatron Cloak, but Innox is still doing a great job. This is why Gragas has been increasing in popularity over the last month.
So sneaky. Looked like he's going for all the crit with the Phantom Dancer.
So what happens when you build an early Infinity Edge is just it raises the value of crit for your champion. So it's definitely the best stat to pour your money into after you have completed that item. So Sneaky definitely knows what he's doing, managing his money well. We'll see if EG can actually pull off a pick, because right now they are feeling the heat. And Altec, with the unsuccessful first go, may be a little trepid to try it again, but he's got his big power spike. Right now, he's sitting pretty. He's got the Ghost Blade plus Blade of the Ruin King that has been so hyped up on this patch. It's a very, very strong combo, especially on Twitch. And he really needs to make a use of this, make good use of this, because right now, he's really... right now, they're going to fight around Dragon, even though there's 50 seconds for it.
And the W damage coming out, you can see the ball's something to think about. The cast damage, not so much. Like you said, that Youmuu's finished in. Really good positioning right now for Cloud9. LemonNation has such good disengage. It's really hard for Helios to even hit a good ult.
Right, so this is the Dragon fight before the Dragon's there, which is over vision.
Yep.
The prize of this
battle
fight
before the war.
is all about, exactly. This is the battle before the war. The prize of the first battle is just vision, to try and get a good situation for your team before the prize is actually on the table. And Cloud9 did a really good job. EG have only claimed this bush as their own. Let's see if they can make a tactical strike,
you got to start off small. You don't start off with the world.
Oh, he popped his Ghost Blade as well.
small brush will get you a flash.
And they did not get the dragon yet.
And EG has control now. A little bit of vision. They don't have they do have the sweepers for it, just not really clearing them out yet. Waiting to use these correctly. There is one.
Whoa, teleport in from Cloud9. They're forcing it. Here comes balls.
That's Krepo, and the shockwave flashes out. They may not be able to do much on this. The Soul Shackle is slowing down high, and he gets out alive. So they've kind of gone flash for flash, but the TP's used, and people are ready.
Yeah, Innox comes in late. Evil Geniuses want to challenge this dragon. This could be explosive 5-on-5 with no shockwave left for Cloud9. Do EG have the confidence to challenge 4 versus 5?
They almost can't come in. They're going to take a wave right to the face. This tidal wave would be perfect. They're going to just watch it go down. The culling comes out, pressuring them back even more. High from the side. He's completely out of mana, though. They got to be careful how much they really bait each other into this. And it's just to get EG off of the area. Now to mid. Looks like they're going to have to do some defense here to kind of cancel some backs and keep it going. That's a nice bomb. Pobelter may buy enough time to get the mid turret here.
Yeah, and he walls off this area with another minefield, gaining
awesome play.
them position on this mid turret. See if EG can actually answer, though. They only got half life.
Lots coming out.
Pulse just runs through that minefield. Does not care.
So you can see just how much Cloud9 actually wanted to stop that. Yeah, they went out and they were able to snag out Dragon, but that's going to be rough.
It was a strong defense for them because they were the ones to come away with that very important Dragon Gold, and they didn't have to give up any territory for it.
Really good game. First one on the second day here. 291 equal CS in the mid lane.
Oh! Should have spoke quicker. 292! 293!
Twitter's going to have my head. 40,000 gold to 36,000. So 4K in the lead for Cloud9. They haven't really pushed that gold lead at all. They're kind of just working with it right now. Not really playing to win, not really playing to lose at the moment. It's kind of happening.
Well, that last dragon for them was actually really huge, and that's pretty much the biggest objective on the map for them right now. So they're very happy with that win, trying to go back and spend the money before they fight with this.
Yeah.
Sneaky has gone with the Phantom Dancer instead of Static Shiv. That's even more crit than a Static Shiv. So at least it's not Trinity Force build for him. He's just really going for
that item.
He's going for full value of his Infinity Edge, getting as much crit after it as possible. His damage right now is going to go through the roof. When you combine those two items, and there's only a couple people on the other team with a lot of armor here, that being Helios and Innox, we'll see what he can do with it. Helios, though, on that Nunu, his main job is to try and zone people away, buy time for Altec to freely fire once he pops his ultimate. See if he can actually do that. Has he gotten tanky enough?
We'll see. Helios still has a hard job, too, because even if you focus Sneaky, you still have caster passive shots coming out that are still going to be hurting quite a bit with all that crit Infinity Edge. So
big focus up top here for Cloud9.
Very, very keen.
They sent 4 people up top. What is the response from EG? They have position on mid, and it's already at half from their last push.
Yeah.
See if they can take this before Cloud9 get down. Helios trying to run interference on the rest of the team.
They're just going to tuck.
He does zone them out, but there's
behind.
no damage on the turret. High's clearing it fairly effectively. Could be a flank from Cloud9.
EG knows they have that much control. They're worried about walking into the mid lane. Side to back on this one. Krepo, very dangerous position. Ball's possibly looking for a flash initiation there, but they're just going to clear the wave and show them that they are serious about pushing this down. With the bomb squad out, looks like they won't get too much farther.
Taking over vision slowly.
Definitely dominating, yeah.
For Cloud9.
Starting to turn things on.
They've claimed red side jungle here. Let's see if Altec gets bit. Sneaky shows up and he's got to back out.
Slow rolling right now for Cloud9. Definitely a different style of play than we usually see from them.
Yeah, well the thing is, at first glance you'd think, oh, they might want to push this mid game, but teams have to play to the way that they're building. Because Sneaky is going this full end game AD carry build, just Infinity Edge and piling on crit. Sneaky's going to be a late game beast. This is the strongest late game build that you go with Infinity Edge plus Phantom Dancer into Last Whisper. So they are actually buying more time for him. And we'll see if that actually pays off. His positioning will be key in their team fight.
Yep. He's got a lot to watch out. You say positioning. He's got a cask to watch out for. He's got the Mega Inferno Bomb. He's got Altec Spray and Pray coming out of everywhere. And like you said, dodging skill shots like the Dark Binding. A lot of things for him to think about. Already Altec comes in, but look at that damage trade. Not even near in Altec's favor. See the build coming out from Sneaky.
Ooh, Mikhail's down for LemonNation.
That was huge. The tidal wave comes through. Pobelter rides the wave. They all get out of command shockwave. The cast comes back.
Whoa,
very
teleport.
Good teleport coming in from Balls in the back line. 5 members taking dominance damage. They put the circles on the ground, and death is going to start raining down. Innox is going to be the one to possibly get hit up here. LemonNation takes the slow from the barrel. Sneaky gets bind. There's Helios. Hit him up, and they get the shot over the wall. Cloud9 is kind of putting themselves in all sorts in these paths of the jungle.
What an exciting little skirmish right there. 2 go down. Both people lose top laners and AD carries from their team. Just showing you how close this game is, even though Cloud9 have that 5K gold lead. Let's see, the Black Shield comes in here, but Pobelter flashes as well. Damage sticks. Balls comes in, and he groups up everybody. But look at these circles from EG. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. All on the ground. In the same area for them, piling it on. And this is spread out. This would be a great chase for Cloud9 if Krepo wasn't dead on with that binding. That's basically the reason that EG were able to come out even here. Normally, Lucian would definitely have the advantage over Twitch in those long, drawn-out fights where they're chasing.
Oh dear.
And they're not sitting in a single spot. But because of the binding, hitting from Krepo over the wall, they answer even.
Talk about stretching yourself thin, Kobe. A lot of alts are still down. Some have come up. Looks like C9's trying to pressure this one out. Dragon's going to heal back up.
So the key ultimates that's down is the disengage for EG with Krepo with his shackles not quite up yet. So if the Evelyn and Renekton charge in, it'll be harder for them to peel. Oh, does he get a crit?
Oh, he ate that.
Woo, Culling.
Dirty Rat goes down. Sneaky picks himself up. Another kill, 4-2-4 on Lucian. Now he's got the last Whisper finished, and he whispers calmly in Altec's ear. Your tears are delicious. 3-2, 49,000 to 43,000. We're going to go ahead and get Dragon here. EG was just trying to do this, and they were simply pushed off by the strength of Cloud9 right now.
Yeah, and you can see after that duel, Altec trying to piece together an Infinity Edge of his own.
Yeah.
But he's going to be really far behind on that scaling because, as we said, it's multiplicative scaling with crit damage. So you have to get more crit after you complete your Infinity Edge. It'll have to be another item for him before he really evens up the power. Whereas Sneaky rushing for it, he's hitting hard right now. As we've just seen, only takes a couple of crits. And you're going to lose the duel.
Gotta revert. Oh no!
Krepo
Meteos
again.
Getting caught out, gets the Dark Binding. You heard it happen. Helios throws down the absolute zero.
And now caught.
And this could be bad. Flashes the bubble, and nice cask blows everybody really in and out of range. Getting them all discombobulated over the wall with the body slam. And great disengage from Evil Geniuses once again.
And this time around, some good maneuvering from Sneaky. Doesn't get hit and caught out. That could have been even worse for Cloud9, but he was able to avoid it this time around. Great job of EG, using that vision to their advantage. And Krepo strikes again. It's another binding hitting. Ball's able to take out some of it, but EG left plenty of wards on that side for a similar play. They're doing a good job holding on, even though they're behind. Innox, though.
Uh-oh, one more ball movement. And it's actually not going to be anything that gets in the kill. Innox with that blue buff gets himself to body slam safety. So they're running 2 blues right now on the guys that can spit out some good damage. Even though Innox's barrels aren't, he's going to be coming in with that frozen gauntlet. It's going to hurt face.
Yeah, Innox is bringing a lot of utility to these fights. If he can land his ultimate to knock Sneaky into a compromising position,
yeah, just tap him once,
then that would be huge for Evil Geniuses. Both teams relying a lot on their AD carries right now.
Slow ward clears for the Baron Samba to be coming up soon. Still got a few more sweepers to be used out. High is approaching the area as well, as they feel sufficient enough in that ward clear as they set up their own light bright of security. We see Randuin's coming out for Cloud9, one on Meteos, one on Balls. It's actually helped them to get in and out of these fights. Right now with the disengage on EG, you kind of see Cloud9 scraping at everything, trying to catch up on these. And EG's been able to kite the fight perfectly. Now over to Baron once again. He's going to start grabbing their vision.
It's an interesting split here from EG because Innox has his teleport already available going down bottom to pressure the turret, while the team tries to clear out vision around Baron. They're just trying to buy time to gain advantage because they had the earlier teleport available. Balls is trying to go respawn right now because his just came up, but it's going to take him a while to walk. Let's see if this mid push pays off. Ziggs bomb a little bit early. He only got the melee line.
See how this do-si-do goes in the bottom lane. Sneaky takes a big hit from McHugh just coming out of the hands of Pobelter. We saw him use the Mega Inferno Bomb, so they don't really have any huge fight control coming in on this one. 35 minutes into the game, the last time these two teams played, it was a 38-43 victory for EG. So it looks like we're going to be going a little longer on this one. Who's got the strength to do so?
And who can protect their AD carry?
Yeah.
For Cloud9, they have the Mikhail's advantage, but for EG, they have that black shield, so Krepo can just throw it on first. And then Krepo has gone, ooh! A couple more hits here. Only Sneaky's going to do it.
It actually looks like he's going, either that's Merc or Bloodthirster next. He's going to still try to get some damage out.
Innox, you can see the power of this Gragas with the percentage health damage that gets a full tank Renekton.
Yeah.
Innox is just bullying him out of this bottom lane in the 1v1.
Well, we saw Ackerman using it yesterday, and it was still effective in the team fights. But now, once you get ahead with that Gragas, you can be effective in the 1v1s as well.
Yeah, it's really difficult for Balls, because Balls is also, he has to build a lot of armor for the team fight phase, so he can't build specifically to fight Innox in this split push. He's building for the team, trying to get more armor so they can deal with Twitch, because that's really what matters in this game. If they can't fight the team fights versus Evil Geniuses because Twitch is too strong, then they will lose the game.
Just gotta say, mid lane is on an amazing farm clip this game. 35 minutes in, both have just hit 400. Getting very big, 5 items to come soon. And the 6th maybe after that, if we have a long enough game.
The question is Innox powerful enough to actually chase Balls down? Because Balls is really far away from a turret. There's a lot of consecutive slows that Gragas can stack up. How much danger is Balls really in? Doesn't look like Innox has the confidence to try for it yet.
Looks like Helios has got himself a Banshee's Veil to set up some better absolute zeros and be able to get into that initiation. Continuous cleanup from Sneaky in the bottom lane. He's finally separated himself in CS from Altec. This is one game Altec really hasn't had the best out of laning phase, but it's only really been one. I'm sure he's still going to have a good game. 59,000 to 53, traded over blue buff to Pobelter, as it should be. And it looks like we're going to get some more wards on that Baron. Dragon's up in 20 seconds, still worth a good amount of gold. Not its max yet.
Yeah. And now let's see how much importance these teams put on that Dragon. Because the gold lead not doing a whole lot for Cloud9 at this point. They don't have vision set up for it either. So either team, whichever team gets there first, has so much damage at this point they can take it down really quickly.
Yeah.
And neither team with really extensive vision control. EG do have the advantage though.
Super farm game has left the junglers a little low. Level 13, some 18s already in the game. Meteos is 15 to Helios is 13. They have not been having the greatest time of soaking up experience, running from everywhere lane to lane in just their camps. Cleared out on Dragon, still alive though. Still some pressure to be had.
Whoa, Sneaky!
Oh my word!
Going over the importance of those skill shots in the pregame. It cannot be overstated. Sneaky has no defensive items, even with the defensive items built by LemonNation. If LemonNation isn't there to shield you, he isn't there to Mikhail's you, there's nothing that Sneaky can actually do when he gets caught like that. I want to see that again.
Got summoner heal out of this as well.
Krepo just hit a magic
Bloom.
fight. Krepo just tagged
I'm Krepo, what's up?
That is the 3rd time this game Krepo has hit a key binding.
Yep.
Krepo basically just earned that dragon for his team right now. Really big step getting the team back in this one.
Great coverage. Ward coverage on just the rotations, allowing EG to make small plays. The sleight of a dark binding pushes them almost into the lead here. I'd say they definitely have Cloud9 thinking about EG's positioning now. They may not have the fight lead, but they definitely have Cloud9 thinking twice.
Man, just seeing that replay, it makes you kind of rage at the width of a Morgana binding. The edge of that skill shot always catches people off guard. You think you're just out of range.
It always reminds me of the hands from Zelda that come out and grab you. You're like, that wasn't even close. Go to the beginning. Start over. Yeah.
QQ more, noob, learn to play.
Looking to close the gap here. Evil Geniuses, are they going to do it again? We've seen so many of the teams in the bottom of the bracket right now just really controlling themselves, figuring out where these new players really need to be put and how to play with them. The compositions are coming together great.
Yeah, and so is Snicky's build here too. He knows he needed lifesteal. That was the thing missing from his build, the one component. And this Bloodthirster, even though it was changed, a lot of people overreacted to the change. It is good later in the game because he needs a larger health pool to withstand those 100% to 0 opportunities that EG present when they do catch him out. So he's got that extra shield now that he can build up to actually try and sustain. Progress in the bottom lane, though. He's got to teleport really quickly.
Wow, that Baron just went down so fast. Cloud9 gives himself a very nice lead in stats.
Cloud9 showing again their end game superiority with shot calling. They are so good at this stage of the game. They've always been so much stronger than a lot of the other teams in their decisive late game calls. And as you said, the damage at this point in the game is just too much. And EG were not expecting it, not quite ready for that. One slip up does really cost Evil Geniuses here.
And we just saw it. That was,
boost in
you know,
power.
Krepo caught sneaky, but Cloud9 wasn't afraid to still put themselves in a dangerous position knowing that they had that lead in the fight prowess. So like you said, they do go ahead and make that end game call. 6,000 gold in the lead. Now because of it, the turrets are all even in this game. Both teams still looking to break into the base. The first inhibitor went down 9 minutes ago the first time these teams played. So a very different game here on 4.10.
Much slower between these two teams. Both of them built around these team fights where if your AD carry goes down, it's pretty much the whole story.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they can actually make something different happen. Right there, we almost saw Cloud9 leaking down to catch Innox in his split push. But as soon as they got halfway down, Innox starts to back off, and Balls does not pursue. So Innox playing fairly safe and keeps his split push alive, not getting caught out. EG relying on that Ziggs. They can just wait out this Baron buff, try and wave clear from a safe distance. People always talk about how bad Twitch is in sieges, but they're talking about offensive sieges. Twitch's defensive siege is extremely strong because it's hard for teams to dive back to him and take him out. That's doubly so when your team has a Nunu here that's going to be in the way.
Nunu, Kragus, Morgana, everything stopping you from getting either under a turret or to the back line. So EG definitely, like you said, has some time to buy at these turrets. I don't know how long, but we will see. Sneaky looks to be building more damage. First, he gets that Quicksilver Sash, but probably turning into a Mercurial
EG just aren't in position again, and there's too much damage on Cloud9. Nobody ready for Evil Geniuses. They only have 4 people.
Right down mid. Not even worried about damage here. Nicely dodging out any of the skill shots Pobelter is trying to throw at them. It's the first bomb that's really hit. From the side, Helios hitting up high, not doing too much. They can't even see Meteos, so they're a little worried about engaging and pushed off of their own inhibitor without even a contest.
Yeah, this is 43 minutes almost into the game. A few seconds left alone with any objective is enough time to take it. Everybody's got all this damage. This is the second time. EG a little bit slow. Just takes those couple seconds. Cloud9 don't even have to kill anyone to take the inhibitor. That being said, it is dangerous for EG to walk up there because they are facing the Baroned up C9, but that is such a huge objective for them to give up. That's the first inhibitor. Inhibitor turret line cracked now.
Cloud9 feeling very confident as they approach the second turret, as they should.
Yeah, this is even more dangerous than the inhibitor turret is to defend. This turret, the team can actually flank around behind you. This is so risky to defend this one, but not an inhibitor one.
Oh,
Altec gets flanked.
Wait, could have been a bait in there. Ball's very, very deep on that one. There goes the tidal wave. They're able to get out of this pretty much. There's the disengage that Cloud9 would need if LemonNation could provide it, and he does.
Chunk balls down to half and get his ulti out. But that's about it.
That was scary for Altec. I thought he was pretty much done.
This was really just the secondary cleanup prize for Cloud9 too. They already got the main prize, which was the mid inhibitor. Baron buff regen though should do its work here.
It was crazy how easily they just took that. Figured EG would be the strongest at their base, but like you said, out of position is enough time. Still not really even doing much to defend this one. Cannot get close enough. You're going to catch a dark binding.
So what they're worried about?
Bubble, I should say.
Cloud9 are worried as well about the dark bindings and the Innox ulti to follow that up. If Krepo lands another one of those, then Innox can make you really pay for it by knocking you even closer to the rest of his team. So it is very dangerous still for Cloud9. Even though they have this ginormous gold lead and the upper hand, they're still very much worried about the pick, and getting through a blue buff Ziggs 44 minutes into the game is always a difficult task.
That top turret is getting fed right now. We'll see if they can push it in. I don't believe they're going to be doing it, obviously, on this wave. They have to back. Dragon's going to be something that they can get. More gold going over to Cloud9. What a game for them so far after just kind of turning it on once that Baron happened. Definitely making some calls after the game was a little stale for a while. Once they're able to come out stronger. It's definitely a game we see EG not falling back into old habits, but not kind of making or going with the calls that they're making.
And even though EG are on the back foot, the overall gold level of both teams, both of them actually have the tools to kill people very quickly. So if C9 slip up, they can be taken down very fast. Altec has his armor penetration as well now on Twitch. So if somebody gets hit with that binding, they're going to take a lot of damage, and Cloud9 are going to play a little bit safer here. We'll see if EG can actually make their last stand. This last outer turret, though, again, it's a dangerous spot to try and defend. A lot easier to defend those inhibitor turrets because Evelyn and Renekton can't flank around behind you and find your AD carry burning his flash like we saw last time. Twitch without flash, so much more vulnerable than when he has his summoner available. So hopefully for EG, they can at least buy time for that flash to come back up before the next team fight. It's really what they're looking to do with their wave clear.
Cloud9 just peppering the front door right now. Baron, 35 seconds. Really wouldn't even be something that they would necessarily need to pressure. But with the amount of siege clear, or siege protect, I should say, EG is just holding them off. This inhibitor will be nice. If they can get a good fight here, it's going to be the bottom inhibitor as well, and then they'll go straight up. Straight up to that Baron. Oh, very close. Doesn't want to quickly stun out Helios. Be able to get a nice absolute zero off, so they play this one out very slow. They've already made it into the base. EG's given them this room. They really can't fight with them.
Yeah, this is why that first inhibitor turret was such a big deal.
Right.
Because the exposed inhibitors are relatively easy for Cloud9 to take. It's the turret defense
Get your
that
foot
they're
in the
worried
door.
about.
Keep going.
Now that Baron is up, we'll see how well they can actually bait Evil Geniuses and control this vision. Very smart by Altec, has already picked up that scrying orb, so Evil Geniuses will have one shot where they can get vision of this Baron pit. But man, as we said, a couple seconds alone with an objective is enough at this stage, and so late into the game.
Even if you're to throw the ult in, you have the Banshee's Veil's already out. It's going to be going over to Meteos. Very nice smite onto Baron. Lucian, that's sneaky, coming up with a kill onto Helios. And here comes the chase. They are in pursuit of EG off of the Baron pit. Dissonance the high. I don't believe he'll enough to catch Altec. He gets him in the ulti just on the outside. Altec giving up red buff over to high. The flash command Shockwave is in range. And it looks like they're going to be slowed down just a bit, but it's not going to stop them from heading for the Nexus.
That's probably the nail in the coffin here for Evil Geniuses. Good pickup by Cloud9. Able to rush down the Baron. Helios tried to flash it in there to get it, but not enough.
Cloud9 staying in control for most of the game. Very nicely played. 80,000 to 68 in the end as we get a few more kills over to Altec and Krepo. They're going to be taking down the last Nexus turret, and it is 12 to 8. Your overall final score in the game as they keep going back and forth. The Nexus goes down at 48 minutes. Cloud9 takes down Evil Geniuses.
Congratulations to Cloud9, a much-needed win against one of the bottom teams. They're already 0-2 against Complexity. They didn't want to make that 0-2 versus Evil Geniuses as well. That would have been another devastating for them.
3 in a row loss. I would say another. They've only lost 2 games in a row. Once before, they were on that clip again. But Cloud9, they stopped the bleeding. Were able to get it back on course. Very nicely done throughout picks and bans. Sneaky and LemonNation coming up big once again for Cloud9. Like we said, back in the day, it was the Ash Zyra, then a few more. They still hold some of the most damage done to champions on that team of Cloud9. Pulls out the Lucian Infinity Edge build today, and it seemed to work.
Yeah, Sneaky going full late game build for the carry here. Even topped it off with the Mercurial Scimitar at the end.
Right at the end. Well, after getting caught and zeroed out in mid lane. You gotta figure.
Yeah, even though they lost, you gotta give props to Krepo.
Oh my gosh, these bindings. 2 days in a row, those bindings have been game-changing.
A lot of teams and regions all across the world have been banning out Morgana.
Yeah.
In many, many games, so see why here. It can be game-changing.
And EG's team is really, you know, they're a team that builds players as well. They pull in youngins. They used to be a team we kind of looked at and we said, you know, those guys have been around for a while. What's going to happen? You know, are they going to decide to do this or just keep going? But now you got Pobelter out of school, playing a little bit better, and bringing in Altec now.
Yeah, there was this joke of the retirement home of Evil Geniuses because they had all these older players with Snoopy and Pete and Krepo, and they made the switch here. They're bringing in young talent, the next generation of geniuses, Altec and Pobelter, these boy prodigies really coming into their own and playing well. They're not quite there yet, as you can see. They need to put more work into it, but the team has started to come together, and they look like they are a stronger team in that mid game. They're making stronger decisions. It's just a few seconds that they're off this time around. Be a little bit more decisive.
See if they can get those going. For more on Cloud9's win, we're going to send it down to Jack.
Thanks, guys. Of course, I'm with Sneaky, who did a lot of damage that game. Talk to me a little bit about your 80 carry build choice on Lucian there.
Well, I actually had a lot of gold when I backed. I had about 2,000, so I was able to build BF Sword, which was the initial part. If I didn't have enough for BF Sword, I'd probably go Bork instead. And Infinity Edge is insane damage, and you can actually afford it early.
All right, and also kind of the game overall, it was a very long, drawn-out game where you guys had the gold lead but couldn't quite find opportunities. What was the communication like, knowing you guys have been struggling recently to try and close out this game?
Well, we knew we couldn't push very well against Ziggs because he's such a good defender, so we had to make a lot of picks around Dragon and Baron, and we ended up getting some weird fights all over the place, and then they went to their blue buff, and we actually pushed down their tier 3 mid, which opened up a huge opportunity for us to take over the game.
Yeah, and having previously lost to Evil Geniuses, what was the difference really this time around that allowed you guys to come out on top?
I don't really remember what happened last time, but I think this time we played a lot better than we usually have been. So that's basically it, just playing better.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have had a really rough split. You're one loss away from equaling your loss totals from your previous 2 splits, yet you seem to bounce back very well, especially from disappointing defeats. What did you guys do yesterday after the Complexity loss?
I think we talked a lot about what went wrong in the game and what specifically we were trying to do with our comp that we just weren't doing in the game. So we went into this game thinking about exactly what we need to do, and we executed it.
And maybe even kind of a little bit bigger picture, because you guys have been so dominant, what changed this split to potentially lead to your struggles?
I honestly don't know what's been going on to make us lose more, but I know every other team is getting a lot stronger. And that was supposed to happen last split too, but it's actually happening this split.
Maybe final question. Dignitas is currently sitting in the top spot. How do you guys find a way to take them down?
Do we play them next week? Do you know?
I'll have to get back to you on that one sometime later. You have LMQ next week as your biggest opponent.
Okay, well, Dig is a very good team, and I think if we can just practice a lot more, we should be able to take them down.
Well, thank you very much, Sneaky. Congratulations on doing so much damage on Lucian. And let's actually send it over to Freak at the Telestrator to break down some plays.
Thank you very much, Jack. So speaking of the man who's doing a whole bunch of damage on Lucian, we've got a replay on the Telestrator. Second try. There we go. So this is an early game, about 12-minute 2v2. Starts out 2v2, a lot more happens, but it's Altec and Krepo taking on Sneaky and LemonNation. And I want to break down the really small individual plays that made this fight go the way it did. So first of all, we'll talk about the standard opening combo for Twitch. When he comes down, the general thing you're going to look for is actually you open up with an auto attack from stealth and then your W, which actually gives you a little bit more uptime on your basic attacks so that you can get a bit more damage out. And what I want you to actually pay attention to is, number one, how Sneaky plays in this fight, because he's going to initially deal a bunch of damage as his opponent comes in. He's going to go for the damage output. He's going to kite back once the Morgana comes in for him. But also keep track of all the spells LemonNation burns, because it ends up being really interesting how this fight plays out. Let's start out the clip and watch what happens. So Altec's going to go in, the standard stealth combo comes in, and Sneaky's going to do what damage he can. So right here, standard combo, W right after the basic attack. Again, now pause right here. Because the problem is, there's enough magic damage. Krepo is only level 6, which means Krepo has a very weak black shield. LemonNation has rank 4 W. He's got the Tide Color Blessing E, and even Sneaky's got rank 2 of his Ardent Blaze as well. There's enough magic damage to break a black shield, but the bubble comes out too early, and so it actually doesn't hit anyone anyway, even though they could have gotten the knockup. Now, the other crazy thing as well is LemonNation in a second is going to have blown every single spell he will cast this fight. So all he's got left is basic attacks. Lemon's basically a glorified cannon minion at this point. So all that matters at all is just hitting Sneaky. And of course, Altec, as he kites back, is going to be about back here, and he'll be able to spray and pray the entire fight and just destroy Sneaky, but they actually choose to switch focus and hit Lemon instead. Roll the clip out and watch what happens. Krepo makes a great move. He pops his ultimate in. He pushes Sneaky back in to see Sneaky forced to kite away. But right now, Altec can shoot through the minions and kill Sneaky, and instead they go for Lemon. This gives enough time for Sneaky to get that piercing light down, pick up the kill. And now it's basically a standard cleanup crew. So Helios comes in, tries to defend, gets a slowdown. And as we play the clip out, it's really interesting because Helios, he's made this mistake a couple of times actually. We'll pause in a second here. Basically, he's gonna throw one more snowball and be at 95 mana. Notice how low Sneaky is over here. Like that is a very killable champion. There's a very killable champion after a snowball. He's gonna be at like 95 mana on Nunu. He walks into basic attack to trigger his passive in order to channel his ulti. Problem is, he doesn't expect the damage output and goes, never mind, horrible idea, can't go in for this fight. So roll the clip out, and it's a mistake that we've actually seen a couple of times here for Helios. He did it yesterday as well in their game, right? Ice Blast comes in, basic attack for the passive, says, oh wait, never mind, I can't do it, and it's basically clean up from here. Couple of great teleports come in. Innox, of course, makes a great play as well. And at this point, Innox knows Sneaky has nowhere to go, so he looks just for Meteos. Of course, the teleport that comes in makes him say never mind, because Innox turns, balls also cancels, but Sneaky all the whole time is a guaranteed kill, so they pick it up pretty properly. Honestly, a pretty well-played fight on both sides here. I gotta say, the big difficulty, though, is that Altec could have gone for the kill on Lucian, and that entire fight would have been different because simply Lemon had no spells left. So that was one big misplay that could have turned the fight around differently. But overall, of course, a great match. Cloud9 did win, but for now we're going to send it back to the guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Freak. And with that game, Cloud9 beats their Lee Sin curse.
Yes.
They did not lose the game when they did not have Lee Sin, so that works out for them that time. We've got more action coming your way after the break. LMQ will take on Team Solo Mid. The North American LCS Summer Split returns in 3.5.
No, he ran.
Altec, are you gonna leave me hanging?
Turkey. Turkey.
Yeah?
Turkey.
What's turkey? How do you turkey?
Turkey.
No turkey?
No, like here.
Sneaky stands
Whoa! That's what the BF sword pickaxe damage looks like from a Lucian early game. The culling comes in. Oh, it does. The piercing light all the way through. Krepo. Very good teleport coming in from balls in the back line. 5 members taking dominance damage. They put the circles on the ground, and death is going to start raining down.
He's here.
Lucian.
Okay. Poked.
Nice.
Pobelter.